let's look at standard derivatives. F of x equal to k. Now this is a constant, and since there is no x on the right hand side, any change in x has no impact on the function. So which means f prime of x is equal to 0. Now if you want to prove it, then again use the definition itself. F prime of x is equal to limit as delta x approaches 0 of f of x plus delta x minus f of x divided by delta x. Now this is what limit delta x approaches 0. F of x plus delta x would be what? It would be k itself. F of x is what? K delta x. Now this would be limit as delta x approaches 0 of 0 by delta x. Limit, now 0 by delta x is nothing but 0. So limit will also be. Now let's say f of x equal to x to the power of n. Let's see what this derivative looks like. So again, f prime of x is equal to limit as x approaches 0 of f of x, no, not f of x plus delta x to the power of n minus x to the power of n divided by delta x. Now if you look at standard limits, there is a standard limit. Limit as x approaches a, x to the power of n minus a to the power of n by x minus a is equal to n a to the power of n minus 1. This is a standard limit. Now this numerator part is perfect. It matches. The denominator part, we have to make it match. So let's see what happens. Let's look at x tends to 0. Now we basically what we are trying to do, delta x approaches 0. So the denominator, we are saying it tends to 0. But we want it to be this minus this without the exponents. So we can say x plus minus x. Now what will happen in this case? X plus delta x minus x. Now it will match the pattern of the standard limit. So we want something like this. So if you want it like that, what should happen to the limit statement itself? Delta x approaches 0. Let's add x to both the sides. So x plus delta x, x plus 0. So 0 we need not write. So it becomes like this. Our limit statement would become x plus delta x approaches x to the power of n by x to the power of n by x plus delta x minus x. And because of the standard limit, we can directly say n x to the power of n minus 1. Now because of this, finding derivatives of something like x to the power fifth root of x becomes easy. Now fifth root of x can be written as x to the power of 1 by 5. So f prime of x is equal to what? 1 by 5. Apply this. 1 by 5 x to the power of 1 by 5 minus 1, which is 1 by 5 x to the power of 1 minus 5 minus 4 by 5, which can be written as 1 by 5 x to the power of 4 by 5. Yes, it makes life very, very simple. Find the derivative of a function of the form x to the power of n. Okay, let's look at some trigonometric functions. F of x equal to sine x. So f prime of x is equal to sine of, limit as delta x approaches 0 of sine x plus delta x minus sine x divided by delta x. which is equal to, so limit delta x approaches 0. Now this is sin A minus sin B. So we need to know the identities. So 2 cos A plus B by 2. So x plus delta x plus x by 2. Sin A minus B by 2. So sin x plus delta x minus x by 2. The whole thing divided by delta x is equal to limit as delta x approaches 0. 2 cos 2x plus delta x. 2x plus delta x by 2. Sin delta x by 2. The whole thing divided by delta x. Now this delta x in the denominator, we can take it below sin, right? So 2 cos 2x plus delta x by 2 sin delta x by 2 divided by delta x. Remember, 1 by 1 by 2 is nothing but 2. Yes. Now what we'll do is we'll take it the other way around. This 2 is equal to divide by 2. So 1 by 1 by 2. So we have taken 2 below. Now you must remember this. So if we take the limit, we can split this limit. Delta x approaches 0 of cos 2x plus delta x by 2 times limit as delta x approaches 0 of sin delta x by 2 by delta x by 2. So here what happens? If we take the limit now, cos 2x by, and this becomes 1. So cos 2x by 2 is cos x. So f prime of x is equal to cos x. Now what about a sin x? F prime of x would be, follow the same procedure. You will end up with a cos ax. What about cos x? F of x is equal to cos x. So f prime of x would be equal to, we can always do it step by step, limit as delta x approaches 0 of cos x plus delta x minus f of minus cos x divided by delta x. You have to remember the identities. So cos A minus cos B would be what? Minus 2 sin x plus delta x by 2 sin x plus delta x minus x by 2. If you don't know the identities, you are stuck. So limit as delta x approaches 0 minus 2, plus x. So sin 2x plus delta x by 2 sin delta x by 2 by delta x. Now this 2 we can take it down. Yes. So now if we take the limit, what happens? Minus sin 2x by 2 times limit of this would be 1. So minus sin x. Tan x. F prime of x would be, let's convert tan into sin by cos. First step, let's stick to this itself. X plus delta x minus tan x divided by delta x. Limit as delta x approaches 0. Limit delta x approaches 0 of sin x plus delta x by cos x plus delta x minus sin x by cos x. The whole thing divided by delta x. Limit delta x approaches 0 sin x plus delta x cos x minus sin x cos x plus delta x divided by delta x times cos x plus delta x. Now the top one is an identity, sin A cos B minus sin B cos A. Delta x approaches 0, sin A minus B. So x plus delta x minus x divided by delta x cos x plus delta x. Limit as delta x approaches 0, this becomes sin delta x by delta x cos x plus delta x. Now remember, sin theta by theta, this, if we take the limit, it will become 1. So if we take the limit, 1 time 1 by cos x plus 0 will become x. So it will become 1 by cos square x, which is nothing but sec square x. 2-3 other limits that you have to remember is, for f of x equal to a to the power of x, where a is greater than 0 and a is not equal to 1. Now in this case, f prime of x is equal to a to the power of x log a. Similarly, f of x is equal to e. F prime of x is also equal to e. F of x equal to e to the power of ax plus b. F prime x is equal to e to the power of ax plus b times a, or ax plus b. Now let's say f of x equal to log of x. Let's look at its derivation. F prime of x is equal to limit as delta x approaches 0 of log x plus delta x minus log x divided by delta x. Now here you have to know the rules of logarithms. 1 by delta x. Let's take it separately. Then the subtraction becomes division. So log divided by x. This we can rewrite it as log of, we can split it into log of 1 plus delta x by x. Limit as delta x approaches 0, 1 by delta x we have. Let's multiply both numerator and denominator by x. Log 1 plus delta x by x. Limit as delta x approaches 0 of 1 by x log of 1 plus delta x by x to the power of, here this x by delta x, let's take it to the top, x by delta x. Now when we take the limit of this is what? 1 by x remains as it is, and this becomes log e. Basically this part is a standard limit, so it becomes 1 by x log e as the derivative of log x, and the log e is 1. So derivative of log x is equal to 1 by x. Having this log e is important. If you are trying to remember this, remember it with log e. If the function is of the form log to the base a, not to the base 10, then f prime of x would be 1 by x times log e to the base a. Yes, then it will not be 1. Okay, I think that's enough for today. Bye for now. Please go to the about page of my channel, and here you will find various links for each topic. These are Excel workbooks which I have been using in many of my videos. Download it and practice.